We
How are we
are
late?
we are now officially live. We are slightly late. Hi, King's
No, we're
Fireside
not.
Chat. According to my computer's clock, we are.
It just changed. You were early.
I don't know. This is Windows 7. It's pretty reliable.
Get wrecked, Kusiang.
But we are live. I don't know the number we're at right now. I think this is number 19. Regardless, we are back for another episode of the High King's Fireside Chat. So this time, I know in the All Thing Randalifer said he had a couple things he wanted to talk about. Probably the big subject is going to be war bands for some of this. Before that, we have a brief shout out from me at least. I need a color caster for Saturday, League of Legends tournament hosted by the Into the Rabbit Hole server. Not entirely sure the tournament will happen. They're still waiting for more teams to sign up. So if you want to play in it, totally sign up for that too. It's on Saturday and Sunday at 4 Pacific. But my usual faithful colorcaster Eodor will not be there on Saturday, so I need somebody else to colorcast with me. So if you're interested, let me know. Other than that, I mean, pretty standard weekly events on the table this week. We've got a game night this Saturday. I believe Steinier is hosting it. Not entirely certain, but I'm fairly sure it is happening. And that's at 5 Pacific usual, and then Warframe night on Monday, 5 Pacific as well. And, yeah. Roll call will start on that Tuesday, so not a whole lot going on. Oh, and of course, we have a movie night tomorrow. We're doing that at 8 p.m. Pacific. Other than that, the big event coming up for WA is going to be a warband competition. It hasn't been announced yet, but that is coming up. I'm planning on starting it on the 29th. But I guess we can jump into warbands with that. Good transition because before that happens, I've been talking to all the Huskarls and all the warbands and trying to get a couple of things. The big thing was flags for all the warbands. So I can make a scoreboard that's a little more visual. People can have like some images to identify their warband with, so it feels like it's a little more of a substantial thing that they understand they're part of. And also in making the flags, picking colors and symbols for the warbands. And lastly, also changing the name if they want to. So I mean, it's kind of already half out there anyway, but at least three of the warbands are having name changes. Two major ones, one kind of minor one. But if you don't know about it, I'll keep it under wraps so you can be surprised when it's announced. Probably within a week or so, because I'm hoping to get all the flags for all the warbands out before the warband competition starts. But just a heads up on that competition, it's going to be just like the House War as far as the format, challenging people, and you both agree to the game and all that stuff, and you earn points, and then the best warband wins, and they'll get all the members will get a mark and stuff. I know haven't awarded the marks for the Hero thing yet, the previous one, the House War, but that will be coming. With that though, yeah, I thought we'd talk about warbands. I guess I don't know if any of you guys have anything specific. I see Rand's actually here now, so I know he had a few things he wanted to talk about too. Yeah, I guess I'm happy so far. It seems like most of the warbands are making some progress on getting flags and stuff like that, and getting that identity that I think would be really cool if they have. Because, yeah, I mean, my goal is for them to kind of be like houses. As far as, like, people care about houses, they have a lot of history, people think they're cool, that kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, I could just, basically, we're just open up to free conversation if anybody wants to bring anything up. Doesn't have to be about warbands, necessarily, but that was just my first thought.
Go ahead. I don't want to sidetrack us too much. I just wanted to give it a shout out to Lamas in my warband. New member, joined like very, very recently, jumped right in and started making, ideas for our flag. Incredible guy. Really cool. So just a shout out to him.
I've been watching that. Very cool to watch the progress. And, yeah, definitely credit to Lamas for, is it Lamas or Lamas?
You know what? I need to ask him. Maybe I'm just
It's definitely Lamaze because llama has two L's.
Well,
That's a
but
fair point.
it could be. I mean, something. I don't know. But that's a good theory at the very least. I think.
I'll ask him at some point. I might just be Frenching it up.
Well, it was cool to see that, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for is people caring about the warbands like that, being like, hey, let's make something cool for it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd love to hear more about Rand's ideas here.
Indeed.
Before we get into that, I wanted to ask. So I want to make the clear distinction: do warbands have flags or coat of arms, or is it the same thing?
They're different things. Right now, the only thing that I've required is that warbands have flags. I think previously we've talked about how it would be cool if they made coat of arms, but as far as I can remember, I've never been like, warbands need to have coat of arms right now. But it's, of course, like, I have no issue with them creating a coat of arms. I think that's awesome. I think anything warbands want to create that's like, signifying or making themselves more unique, that kind of thing is awesome. But the one thing I was shooting for was flags, and I think that was Solight's idea initially in the all thing, but I just thought that was a cool thing, and it would be a little bit different from houses who have coat of arms to try to, so they're not as like confusing between the two. And we could put the flags on the scoreboard.
I think it's one of the best things about the warbands, or the new things that you've like asked for the warbands.
And then the Bronze Watchers can have our emblem be re-envisioned to a flag.
Good idea.
Do you want me to make that, or can you make that, or?
I'll make one.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I'll wait for you to put one out so I see how it should kind of look similar. But once you put one out, then I'll go ahead and make it.
Oh, you're not in the channel. I just realized. Here, let me add you to the channel because there's at least one in there.
By the way, you say anything, but we've already been told anything is not okay.
Anything is not okay.
Okay.
No rocking chairs allowed.
That's true.
You mean the committee
No
running through our warbands isn't okay?
Yeah, we wanted a rocking chair, and that was shut down.
No rocking chairs.
Yeah,
It's oppression.
they have to get by your Jarls as well.
What
I'm not
about
jumping
a
over.
glider?
You're all the one that started it.
Can I go with a glider?
Glider?
It's like a rocking chair, but different.
Does it have to be an inanimate object that's really boring to look at?
It represents my.
Isn't that what a flag is?
Yeah.
I mean,
mean, they're
generally
usually, like,
the symbol on
flowers.
the flags. I know I'm biased, but I think the maple leaf on the Canadian flag's pretty lit.
It's pretty boring.
Thanks, Solight.
Like nobody in the world would know what it looks like if
you're
it weren't on that flag.
If it doesn't
You're
have an
supposed
eagle
to
and a
be an
gun, I don't like
American
it.
Patriot, so like,
I've-
come on.
Rand, I actually have a coin from the military with an eagle holding an M16. I'll send you a picture when I find it. No, it's at my office.
That's so American. I love it.
Right. Well, I don't remember where we were. We were flags a while back. Did you have something to add to that, Rand?
No, I just wanted the distinction to be made clear because there's different words being used, but there's also stuff already created for the warband. As like I said, the Bronze Watchers coat of arms.
Yeah, I posted one, and I can even pin it. I just added you to the temporary Huskarl Moot chat.
I should definitely be added that because I had no idea what it was, and when you guys started saying flag out of nowhere, I was like, "What?"
I thought
Yeah.
the Huskarl Moot was for our company.
Oh no, it's for it. Well, see, I just added the Huskarls, and I was like, oh, the Jarls need to be here. And I forgot about the rest of the officers, so I'm adding them all now.
A little bit of intrigue going on, huh? Nice
Yeah,
little
yeah,
things.
exactly.
Purposely not letting the Thanes in.
It was a mid-tier coup. We had support from high and low.
Perfect. We're just
Wasn't
cooing the middle class.
Right.
All right. Well, since it seems to be in high demand, I will start off one of my few dilemmas that I have on the notes. First one being the officer duty versus pleasure. I'll start off the conversation with, I think what we are is we're a gaming clan community that's here to have fun. But at the same time, I think the officers need to be paying just as much attention to our duties and our responsibilities that we owe to our fellow members and the people in our great companies. I myself am the most to blame for this, and that's why I have taken it upon myself to really start this conversation because I've been slacking a lot. You know, my job, just playing video games, you name it. I've been doing everything I want to do, but not the stuff that I should have taken the oath, but I never did, to accomplish here in this warband great company. So I'm wondering, what do you guys think is a good ratio to keep yourself at? Do you think it's something that you should be like kind of forcing yourself to like every day? Do you think it's something that kind of just let happen, keep it organic? I'm wondering what you guys think.
I think every day is unrealistic.
So you're asking,
What level of activity do we expect of officers as assigned?
Yeah, pretty much.
well, myself, some days I don't do anything, to be completely honest. I
Right.
don't know. Some days you just don't feel like doing any work. But I mean, as long as you get your responsibilities done, I don't really see. Are you wondering, like, would you prefer to have it more laid out for you? Like, would you like to have a schedule, I guess?
Yeah, well, I think definitely putting deadlines onto our missions and quests and stuff like our flags definitely be helpful to a lot of people. But at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword because someone can meet a deadline when someone can't just because of real life stuff.
Well, there sort of is a deadline on the flags right now because we're trying to do them before the warband competition.
Right. So then in that question, then do you guys think that we should have these hard deadlines? And if they don't meet the deadline, should there be any kind of action taken for it?
Deadline for what?
Or
Just anything, I guess.
Yeah.
Tasks.
So
Right
you
now,
wanna-
the only
you want to assign
deadlines.
a deadline when a task is decided on.
Yeah, so like let's say Fold Master tells me it's like, hey, uh, have each warband's flag done before the tournament starts. You think there should be something in the rule saying that if I did not have that done, then some kind of action should be taken?
Does that improve things?
It gives people more incentive to get stuff done.
I think deadlines are a good idea, but I don't know if we have to put them in the rule book, like, because it seems like it'd be really variable. Like, it seems like we could just do
you
that
wanna
on a
just
case
start
by
going with
case.
deadlines and see how it goes? Like just start like what like whenever you guys come up with like a task that we can go for, like these like the warband things or any future tasks. Do you want to just start throwing deadlines along with them and see how that goes?
I think that's reasonable. I mean, it seems to me like that's just something like that would be a good idea if we're assigning tasks in general, rather
Yeah.
than like a law, I guess. But I think that's a good idea.
I think yes, but of course there'll have to be reasonable deadlines.
Sure.
Discussion will be had with
Get me
what
everything.
can be done. Actually, I want Fold Master to have a flag done in 5 seconds. Go.
Scholars, I want a coffee right now.
Does Starbucks deliver up there?
I don't think so.
Then no.
You gotta have something like Postmates or one of
They-
those things.
They have Tim Hortons.
Do they
They
deliver?
don't deliver either.
No one
delivers
Canada.
in Canada. No one delivers in Canada.
They
We're
do if you
backwards.
pay them enough.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, there's no Uber here.
You don't have Uber?
If you pay me enough, I'll deliver
Kind
you
of
some.
third world country.
Help.
Most cities ban them.
What?
Yeah.
They did have a lot of accidents and like kind of scandals, didn't they?
No.
What wasn't there that thing? I was just reading that thing in Denver where like some Uber driver
I'm glad
just
we're talking about this.
shot a guy. It's a free Fireside. There's
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, back on topic. So, what we're saying is, let's look at deadlines that already exist. Let's say we have our review to do on a Tuesday, and I don't hand it in. I don't hand it in until Thursday, like 2 days later.
exiled.
What? Yeah, like what happens? Are you actually gonna?
I think it
like-
would be it's just a form of accountability. If you're unable to do that repeatedly, you probably shouldn't be in the position where that's required.
right.
Like you're not in the position because everyone thinks you're a cool guy. You're in the position because people think that you can do the job.
Mhm.
One thing, and I can add this to the rulebook too, is I made this incident report channel that some of you people suggested, so that if somebody breaks a rule, because it says in the rules that, or it's like being added that like people breaking rules, you get like a warning, and then you get, so to keep track of that, we just have it so if somebody is late in a report, we can just write it in the incident report channel. So then we have a record of it, and then if it happens in a bunch of times, then we can go back and look and evaluate it like that.
Oh God, do I have the first recorded case?
No, I don't think anybody's put anything in there. You guys are all in there. I think everybody has Carl is up in that channel.
Yep.
Okay. Because my Ceros was like 4 hours late. I was like, oh great.
Oh no, that was kind of a little weird because I think Fold was gone. I don't know if you guys talked about it beforehand or not.
Oh, we definitely did. That's why
Oh.
I'm saying
Oh.
it's a fair statement to put that in there.
You're on the list.
Crud.
It's gonna be a competition to see who is the first person to be on the list. No one wants to win that competition.
I'm
I win
putting you on the
immediately.
list for flaming me in your warband chat.
I'll be your Doug.
Okay, it's Talos who's flaming you, first of all.
But Talos flames everyone.
True.
Dab
Then is it
on the
actual
haters.
flame?
Quality raider behavior.
Not actual flame. It's Talos level flame.
Dabbing on the haters flame, I guess.
I just said that Jarls shouldn't dab.
Yeah,
we
I'll
get
put that in the
dabbing?
requirements in the handbook. No dabbing.
I'll find a good dab emote.
But okay, so that makes sense. Putting an incident report for anything that, you know, if we break a deadline or something like that.
Okay, we can start trial running that. See how it goes.
Yeah, the main thing is like a lot of this stuff I kind of just wanted to like package it so it's just like one announcement. So I wasn't going to start like using the incident report channel or asking anybody to use it till I update the handbook because I made a couple of updates. Actually, I can even just read off. Let me find where I wrote down. So I changed a couple of things. Some of them are kind of significant, but nothing like giant. I just what did I change? Got rid of warband sit reps. I said instead that the Huskarl should just be in contact with the Jarl all the time, talking about it, kind of informally, rather than having to write a formal report. Because the Huskarls are kind of in charge of the board's review in a way, because they're the ones on the ground evaluating everybody, and then all the above officers come in and say their opinions of it. I removed the lore requirements from a lot of the ranks, and I moved saluting to traditions. Now there's a rules and a traditions category. So traditions is like kind of a list of things like talking about houses, saluting, blood names, kind of these various things that you don't have to do, but you can do. It's information about them. And then a lot of just kind of general revisions. I think it's 1 or 2 pages shorter now because I just like cut down a bunch of paragraphs into more readable stuff. So that's basically all the changes I made. So nothing like I think too crazy, but I think a couple of decent things. But anyway, yeah, incident report channel is I was gonna have us start using that once I officially we have the rulebook change, which I'm probably gonna do within a week, like once we have all the flags for the warbands and all that stuff set, and just announce that all together.
So with the Rise of the Incident Reports channel, will we also see the refoundation of the Law Rock?
Oh, for people to protest being demoted or something?
Yeah, or like if there's too many, like someone just racking up a super amount of incident reports, and we take them to the Law Rock.
Take them to the stocks.
Well, I
be
mean,
humiliated.
as far as punishing people, I mean, the handbook, the draft I'm making now is pretty clear. It just says breaking any of the rules, you get 1 warning unless people think it's hopeless. Like if let's say you're punishing a guy and you say you're breaking all these rules, stop doing that, and he just says, "F you, I hate this clan," blah blah blah. It's like, okay, this guy doesn't need a warning. I don't think that's gonna fix anything. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it obviously will depend case by case, but it's pretty clear. 1 warning, and then the second time they should be demoted, and then so on and so on. If they're a scout, they'd be a guest, and then if they're a guest and they're continuing to break rules, then like a ban maybe. But it's kind of clear on that. I am open to a law rock though. I think that's a good idea. I don't know. I don't know if you guys think it's necessary for people to like plead their cases. I guess you think that's a good idea.
I don't see the need to have the Law Rock constantly. Like we were just saying that we have too many channels. I mean, that's been
Yeah, that's not a thing that comes up.
But yeah, but I wouldn't be against, if we ever need the Law Rock, make the Law Rock channel, do the Law Rock thing, and then just delete it after we're done.
If you want the logs, somebody could personally store those, and then
Right.
that's not the kind of thing that really benefits anyone to maintain in a public thing.
Well, people could even just they can plead their cases in private if they want to, like message officers. Is that?
I think the point of the Law Rock was accountability, was to document what happened to someone.
Right, but that also it's kind of like the same thing with the upvoting and the downvoting system on the forums. You see, if we're making it public that this person has broken a lot of rules and created a lot of incidents, then they're just going to have like a negative kind of demeanor about them.
Oh, you think people are gonna react, add like XD emojis to their posts in the Law Rock or something?
Something of the sort. But like I said, it's almost kind of the same thing as the upvoting system. Like say people who like Numenor had tons of downvotes just because people didn't, really agree with him. And then that created like the future members who came in. They saw Numenor's profile, like, oh, this guy has like several downvotes.
Just several.
That's a nice way of putting it.
He's got a collection.
Let me add this downvote to my collection.
Right, but it's a similar situation as well. I was trying to get at.
I think we had I don't know if the reputation system is a good example. It worked for a long time really well until a small group of people started brigading.
Brigading.
You mean the Stone Star?
No, I think Numenor was on the list.
Oh, really? Was there multiple brigades?
Yeah, there was
okay.
like two groups that went back and forth against each other and just like downvoted. Now that I think about it, I don't think Numenor was on the list.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm conflating him with someone else. But there was two groups basically that went back and forth and just downvoted each other's stuff constantly.
And also, don't we have a higher member count now than we did then? So the chances are even higher.
Well, maybe.
I don't think you should get rid of something, or I don't think that should. My point is, it worked really well for a really long time. The instance where it doesn't work or didn't work shouldn't be used to discount the concept entirely. Like, posting something in public isn't always a bad idea just because that one time.
We could do like a trial run, like make a Law Rock, and then if nobody uses it for a really long time and or something disastrous happens in it, we could look at getting rid of it. Or I don't know, unless a lot of people are opposed to creating it, period.
Yeah, I mean, I could think of a few instances in the last month where someone might be taken to a Law Rock. I feel like it will see some use.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem to give it a try, I guess. If you guys think that's a good idea, I don't know.
Someone bring Falconveer back.
Oh yeah.
His one purpose has been found again.
Do you want him back? I'll go get him.
The sheriff.
I'll go get him.
He'd have a long road ahead of him to get in
Don't
charge
count.
of a Law Rock. Alright, so I guess we can go on to the next problem that I had.
Sorry, Rand. Sorry to interrupt. Because we were still on that topic. You said duty versus pleasure, right?
Right.
Just curious, is there a reason why you bring it up? Like, was there some officers that didn't seem to be enjoying their job, or something like that?
If you remember, I also started off. I said the reason why I brought this up is because of me personally and how I had been slacking off on my duties.
Right. Okay.
And I didn't want that trickling down.
Okay. Never mind then. Go on with your next thing.
All right. So my next thing was our percentage of warriors. Now I firmly believe that the warrior rank should be the most populated rank in WA. That should be like maybe 60 to 80% of our members. And my reason why is because that's like our typical member. If you look at the list now, let me get into the meat hall. If you look at the list now, the warrior population is smaller than the raider population, and I think that a lot of these people in the warriors are like some of our like core gamers. Like these are a lot of people that I play with. There's a lot of people that uh, some of our even our raiders are playing with. So I just think that the warriors is like the I don't want to say the ideal member, but it's the usual member. I think we should try to like achieve a certain percentage of how many of our people in our war bands in our companies are warriors. We should be
What
working with the scouts to try to get them to warrior.
what would be the difference between a warrior and a raider for you?
It's a little tricky. I don't want to say they're the same, but I feel like warriors are people who have. Mm, I want to keep saying that everything's kind of a step up, you know. Like the berserkers are trained to be huskarls, the raiders are trained to be the berserkers, but in actuality, the raider rank almost seems to be way too similar to the warrior rank. I feel like people who want to be trained to huskarls are already in the berserker position, and sometimes it seems like raiders is kind of passed over to get to that.
I've viewed it as having the berserker as someone actively involved in running the warband. Like I've used Ricky Leader as my number 2 guy, and I mean it's not like the warband has 5 million things going on, but I'm consulting Ricky Leader on the warband. I'm not consulting the raiders really. I think raider is the people that are trying to prove themselves to become berserkers, and that's the stage where they actually have duties. Like in the rule book, the duties are laid out for berserker. Raider is someone that's active, involved in the clan in general, and moving into that position. I don't think having a lot of or having multiple berserkers, unless you have tons of things that the berserkers are doing. I thought the berserker was sort of like the sub Huskarl, or like the next in line, pretty much.
The Lieutenant Junior.
Yeah,
To me, I've always pictured, scout, warrior, and raider being the normal ranks.
right.
To me, and this is how I've been treating the raider, is an active member that's probably going to stick around, that doesn't necessarily need to have responsibilities. They're going to be a raider. To me, that's what I've been treating it as.
I think I've done the same thing, but with warrior. I've like my warband. I think I've mentioned has some of the older members that been up and down the ranks. Noble was emperor at one point. But like there's some people that are just here to play video games and interact with the community, and they're not looking to take on duties and move up in the clan. And I think that's where warband or warrior kind of caps out, in my opinion.
You think so? Because I think that
I'm open
a raider.
That's just what I viewed it as initially.
Yeah, but to me, a raider is where it caps out for an active member that's been around for at least a while, that we know is probably not going to go anywhere, but is playing, is active, is talking. I don't mean going anywhere in ranking. I mean going anywhere by leaving the the clan. If anyone ever shows interest or we think is going to be, leadership material, that's when we bring them up to berserker. But I just see it capping out at raider, just so that there's some distinction between, a member that's been here for a while, active and blah blah blah, and a warrior, which is just, someone that's been playing but hasn't been here for very long and hasn't been contributing too much.
So then, do you see the raider as the ideal average member that we want to fill out?
Yeah, that's how I've been seeing it. And honestly, if it weren't for the names of the titles, I would just swap them. Like a warrior should be above a raider. I don't know why I think that. There's no real reason. But if we were the warriors of Aesir, I think the average member should be a warrior. I agree with you there. But I would swap them personally.
We can't swap them. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think your description, looking at the members, I think that description fits what it is now on average, but I think we intended for it to be like how Rand and Skull talk about warrior at the start, at least.
Then the warrior and raiders need a bit of a description change, maybe. So I agree with Ran on that.
Because it seems like the only true difference between the warrior and the raider is just how long they've been here.
The one thing, and I'd have to go look at the old draft because I'm just looking at my current draft, but I did change the rank requirements a little, mostly just like little adjustments. So I don't know if you guys think this is clear, but the distinction I made in the new draft is warriors are active and they know stuff about WA. Like they know what house they're in, they know what family they're in, that kind of stuff. They're good members, but they don't necessarily like do anything beyond game. Where raiders are actually passionate enough about WA that they tell other people about it. They get other people involved. They might even tell other people if they're breaking the rules, like keep their other members on track, that kind of thing. And I also put that they have a calm and respectful attitude, so maybe they're more well-behaved, something like that. I don't know. Is that more of a distinction than the current draft? I'd have to go look. But
Dude, I promoted Talos to Raider.
demotion incoming.
Jeez.
I mean, there's obviously some flexibility. You know, there's gonna be exceptions for things, but
So, question: what's the process to get from Scout to Raider, Scout to Warrior, and then Warrior to Raider? Like, obviously, Raider, you guys are saying that it's like, tenure and maturity, basically, an activity. Like, what are you doing for the group? But Scout to Warrior, and then once you get to Raider, is like moving up, even further. Like, where you said there's like a requirement list? Where is that?
In
Well-
the rules tab here on the Discord at the very top thing. I'm sorry, not the rules. There's the handbook.
Yep.
And that's got the rank breakdowns within it.
And really, your first obstacle to getting promoted is going to be the time requirements.
I mean, there's no time requirement for Warrior.
Right. But that's going to be the only obstacle, really.
And by no
You're
means,
here.
like, I'm not like, I want to be a warrior. Like, yeah,
Sure,
I mean,
no,
it would sound a lot cooler than Scout, but like, I don't care either way. Like, I'm just gaming with you guys. It's fun, but I've also
and
ran
so-
a lot. I've
We
been
found our warrior.
No, that's a really good point to bring up. That's the distinction, or that's where the distinction is made, is because WA, like, it's a gaming community. There's a lot of like cultural aspect to WA. Like, it's been around forever. We've got a ton of stuff built up. Everyone recognizes that. And so some people are here just for like, just play games. It's a cool group to play League or Warhammer or Dauntless or what have you. And then some people are here more for the cultural aspect. Like I really enjoy WA because I think it's a unique community, and I think I've made a lot of friends here, and I want to contribute to keeping that running for more people. And so as you get more involved with the WA aspect and not just the game aspect, that's where the ranks come in. And so Scout and Warrior are kind of considered, from what it sounds like we're all agreeing here, Scout and Warrior are kind of considered the introductory or the casual positions or ranks within WA, where like Scout is brand new, Warrior is you've been here but you're still pretty casual. And then after that level of casualness, like once maybe you're posting on Discord, maybe you're involved in games, maybe you're regularly in voice chats with people, like running groups or group gaming or something like that. That's when Raider starts or coming in, when you're more active within WA itself, getting more involved with like the lore aspect or knowing your house or helping or informing other people, bringing that level of information for other new people. And then Berserker is where you start like getting actual duties, like, put together a roster of your warband, maybe help organize an event that we're going to run, keep tabs on new members, maybe look out for new members to play games with. And then from there, you go to the Huskar, actually organizing a whole warband.
You got the trash, you little shit.
Right. Yeah. To delegate your duties to take out all the garbage.
All right. Thanks for the general.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, the rule book thing has the handbook has the specifics, but that's an overview.
I just read through it all just now. Well, all the ranks down through, promotions and stuff, because I've been here for roughly a month-ish. And I definitely I come on here every night, so it's been really cool. And my other community kind of got ripped apart because the leader of my other community for UT 2K4 and a couple other games, he went homeless, and it kind of just fell apart because he financially supported it. Me and a couple other guys were spending, a couple $100 a month to keep the servers going. No one else was putting money in. I just bought a house, so it's like I'm not going to keep dumping money if no one else in the community is going to help. It's not just going to be me and one guy carrying everything. No offense to them, but everyone else started to get rough. So that's why I came here. So that's where I come from. But yeah, it's been really cool. You guys have a good thing going. I just wanted to put my input in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this is all about. I'm pretty sure you're actually in my warband.
I'm in Dippity.
No, the warband is an organizational unit. The houses are a method of tracking lineage.
Oh, gotcha. I got some
Yeah.
research to do. What warband am I in then?
Double checking. I'm pretty sure.
You're
Heffring's
in
chosen.
Yeah, Heffring's chosen. You are in mine.
If you click on
I
names,
can
you'll
I
see
can
'em.
I can talk to you after if for more specifics on that.
Yeah.
Actually, as I said, you can click on names if you view other tags. So like, you definitely need less tags.
People keep saying that.
Yeah, he goes off my screen.
Who does?
So like, cause he
Oh,
has,
raft
like,
players, I'm missing a tag.
Ooh. Yeah, you've been playing Dauntless all the time, huh?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I can't even remember the last time I saw you not playing Borderlands 2. Oh, Heroes in General. So you're on that 24/7.
Stardew Valley, do you even own the game?
Maybe.
He just likes to get the pings when people want to talk.
Yeah.
Technically, there's nothing against that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just, it's like when you sign up for like all the spam messages, so you have a reason to go check your mail. Well,
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
did you have some more stuff you want to talk about, Ryan? I have to go back.
Yeah, and the finishing statement on that would be, hopefully this summer recruitment competition is going to definitely fill out our Warrior and Raider roles.
Honestly, most people don't know that it's happening. I've made a couple of announcements about it, but I don't know.
So-
I don't really know what there is to be done about that.
I don't know.
Doing-
I think recruitment in general has always been hard to incentivize it. People that are good at recruiting recruit a lot as it is.
For the
That's
record,
true.
I'm still working on the competition.
No, yeah,
Actually,
you've been going hardcore. I mean, you're gonna pull out the win for Commander.
I
No,
could
no,
have
no.
potentially had 4 more recruits that I had to turn down because they were like, "I'm just casual," and I was like, "You don't want to come in here. We're gonna scare you with the houses and the colors and the."
I've been posting in the Fortnite Discord, and I get like a crazy number of messages, but I end up just not inviting a lot of them to the Discord and stuff, because I mean, obviously the Fortnite Discord's gonna end up being mostly 10-year-olds. So
They're kids looking for a group. That's it.
Yeah.
of note, we have had 21 new recruits since June 1st, so one a day on average.
Woohoo!
bad.
Nice. So I mean, nobody seems to know that competition's going on, but there's some people in here that are actually working on it, Vest.
No,
So
yeah,
what-
I exaggerate. Some people know. I think I could say most people don't know though.
People who don't recruit. So, for instance, like I'll tell you when I came in, and I'm not trying to throw anyone on the bus here, but I'm learning still after a month. Like I didn't even know that there was a house and a war band. So, like a better explanation by the people that recruit you would be huge. Just like taking like probably 10-15 minutes when you recruit someone to go over the basics.
That's usually what the distinction is between inviting someone to the server and actually recruiting them. Is we have tons of people, not tons. We have some people that are on the server that make it here either from like invites in League or whatever game, or from
Yeah.
the Reddit post or something like that. They just find their way here. And then the recruiting aspect is supposed to be running through that, and that's when you get assigned to houses based on whoever does that with you.
That's been a hot topic in the House Dane chat.
I forgot to mention, but in my new draft of the rulebook, I completely deleted everything in the recruiting section and rewrote it, and I think it's a lot more specific. I think it will be a lot better, a lot easier for people to follow it when they're recruiting somebody. Easier for people to say, how do I recruit? Say, just look at this section. I think it's a big improvement. I think that if people follow that specifically, it should help new recruits find their way around a lot better.
Should we make like not a new handbook, but should you cut out that section of recruits and make it like into another easy handbook file, so it's like only one maybe 2 pages long?
Just the recruiting. I mean, only the recruiting part is only like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, so we have something like real nice and really easy for like our people to try to recruit others. But
You throw it
if
into
you
the
think,
pocket guide.
yeah, pocket guide.
I
Yeah, I forgot that
could,
existed.
but the pocket guide, I mean, it's already 2 pages as it is, and I don't really know how I would fit like the 2 paragraphs into it.
Well, you'd select it and then you'd press Control C.
Oh, thank you. Oh, God.
Smart ass.
I mean, I guess my thing, and I don't entirely feel this way, but part of me says maybe you shouldn't be recruiting if you can't be bothered to open up the handbook and go to the recruiting section to read how to do it.
Well, that's what I was just thinking, like, because when I got recruited, that didn't happen. And like it says here, I'm reading right now, like when recruiting a new member, gauge their interest in joining the clan. I was never asked that. Obviously, I was recruited because I wanted to join. I said that, but I think it would be wise to get someone's interest. Like, where do you want to go?
I think no,
what
we
do you
definitely
want?
have that. I think you were
left out.
left out. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Was it all called?
I'll go cry.
How about we re-recruit you right now, give you the full
Didn't
experience?
Numenor explain things to you?
Yeah, re-recruit me. I'll do it.
Run them back through.
I'll be born again.
It was
I'll-
pretty strange. I remember that.
I can
All-
go through all the details with you. I mean, you're in my warband. I got this.
All right.
Ulf
perfect.
invited him to the server because they're coworkers, I believe, and I don't know how it happened, but the
Is that
topic of
Gothmather?
his
Yeah.
Okay.
the topic of his recruitment came up, and Numenor said, "Hey, I'll run you through it for Ulf and recruit you for him."
I think all he did
Because-
was do the paperwork. Like how he just posted it.
Oh,
He never talked to me, ever.
well,
Oof.
It was just like,
I got you, fam. Don't worry.
I trust you. I can hear it in your voice that you're gonna really take care of me. I feel it. I feel
You'd
the
really
love.
trust him if he still had his Dick Cheney picture.
I can add a little bit. I do need to rewrite the pocket guide since I edited the handbook too. I can add a little bit about recruiting in there, but I probably would want to put like a disclaimer in there, like please read the recruiting section in the handbook, because it's not like crazy long, but I feel like everything in there in the new draft that's not up right now that I've just been working on is pretty necessary that I would want people to read.
All right, and so the last thing I kind of wanted to go through is that I kind of had this idea. So right now we have like some Huskarls, we have Thane, we have our Jarls. So I kind of wanted to maybe try out this little program. It's going to give our Berserkers the chance to experience being a Huskarl or a Thane, or probably just Huskarl, really, and then give Huskarls a chance to be a Thane, temporarily. And what I call this is the officer R&R, where the person who is going to be switched out is going to go off, take their vacation, while a Berserker tries out the rank, and we let them see what they can do with it.
I think
Only-
this is actually a really good idea, but I think maybe it's not a good time because we're still working on some things with regards to Thanes specifically. Like I'm trying to be a lot more clear on what I want my Thanes to do, and we're sort of just. I feel like we're just starting up with some projects for them, and for Huskarls as well. But I actually do like your idea a lot for the future.
It is very cool.
We're gonna leave some kids at the controls.
What do you mean your Thanes?
His
Kusiak, you're my
Thanes.
Thane, okay?
Yeah. Also, I wasn't part of that conversation, but why was the skull assimilated?
Funny story. So originally, I was saying that, I kind of want to have Thanes that do a specific task. And since the Skald is a person who does a specific task, it makes sense that they would be a Thane whose task is lore. So Vest agreed with me. And I said, okay, I'm going to make Kusiak a Thane, and then we'll talk about, removing Skald at some point. And this will allow us to do that super easily when the time comes.
And it was a
And-
super bad timing because in my state rep I talked about wanting to have more paths for WA members to take, and you remove one of them.
Well, in a way, but at the same time, I want Thanes to be like super. Like one Thane could do completely different things from another Thane, so it's going to be like a term for people that are across the board. So although it's the same rank name, there's still infinite paths.
It sounds incredible.
The way you're trying to set up your things now reminds me a bit of the knight errants we were trying to have.
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much.
Well,
Hmm.
another thing it was related to too is this thing I wanted to do where each warband has their own like codex where they record like history that happens to their members. Like, and where before like the Skald was like the main guy in charge of writing the archives. That's one of the things I'm kind of curious about though. Like, I kind of want to go forward with that, but I don't know how the warbands would write their history. Like, if they should each have a Discord channel, or should they each have like a Google Doc or something? I don't know what would work for that.
Google Doc could hand them more responsibility over it. They
Shared
have to
MS
take care of
Paint
it.
file.
What did you say, Sully?
Shared MS Paint file, right?
I mean, alternatively, like I could maintain it, but I don't know.
No.
6 is going to be kind of a lot.
No. We need more things for people to do anyways. So I do think it's good to like spread out the job of archiving from one person who's overseeing everything to much more specific happenings, I guess, because Huskarls are on the ground and playing with their members, and I want members of warbands to be like really good friends with each other and communicating all the time. So hopefully, a berserker or a Huskarl will have a much better idea of what happened on a given day than a Thane or a Skald who's not necessarily even communicating with those person or people on that specific day.
True.
I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot here and probably gonna piss off some Huskarls, but we don't have all that much to do right now.
I agree. I'm a Huskarl. I couldn't agree more. I think
Okay.
I feel the same way about documentation. I don't think there's a ton to document. I think we're approaching busy work with some. I mean, I don't know. I like the idea of teaching people responsibility. I don't like the idea of recruiting or of creating things to do so that we have things to do.
So just to
Mike.
pipe in, I've been listening for a while, but I've always felt that making up responsibilities for the sake of having responsibilities does not work well in the long term. It needs to be meaningful if you're giving someone a job, or don't give them a job at all.
I agree completely, which is why I want everything that our officers do to be like my number one criteria is I ask myself, is this doing something meaningful that actually improves the overall situation in the clan? And if the answer is no, then it's kind of redundant. I mean, you could say that when we make rosters and stuff, it's not improving the day to day, but I think it's
It does
really
help with the
helpful.
organization last.
No,
It
that's
helps with our
totally.
organization.
Rosters are necessary.
Yeah, I agree. I'm saying these things are necessary to have like well, it's part of WA, I guess, like integral to who we are. So obviously we have so much stuff that we do that we don't need if we wanted to just run a gaming community. But I asked myself, is this like helpful to enabling our culture and traditions? And if the answer is yes, then I think it's a good idea to do. But I'm not going to just say, okay, go, write down this for no reason, completely irrelevant information.
Sure.
I definitely think. I mean, obviously we'll have to look at what people are archiving to figure out if it's busy work or not. But I think generally keeping some history to me is important. Like when I came up with the thought of I want each warband to have their own history, it definitely wasn't out of like thinking the Huskarls need something to do or anything. It was just because I really like keeping track of history, and I think it'd be Kind of like
Do you
what
think
Paul said. It'd be
Do you
good.
think there's a lack of that? Do you think that there are things going on that should be documented that aren't?
Well, to put it into perspective, if we look back, there's a thread called the Commander Timeline, and it has like 20 events on it over the course of I don't know how many years, like 8 to 10 years, which is just really, really sad because people just have no idea what was actually happening if they don't, go out of their way to ask questions of older members. It just isn't a good snapshot of what the clan was like.
Yeah,
So
and even asking older members, we know there's been a ton of misremembering.
mhm.
Yeah.
So the idea for the archives isn't to write down every single thing that happens. The idea is to have a document that someone 5 years from now, 10 years from now can look back and see what we were doing.
Do you want to have more regularly made ones then, instead of every time you think something's important, like maybe bi-monthly?
I think it's a good idea to throw it down on paper, like when you think of it at the time, but maybe it'd be a good idea to
Compile
have someone
them.
compile all of it into a nice looking codex.
That's kind of the thing that makes sense to report on a weekly basis, and then at the end of the month, take the weekly stuff and say, okay, what was actually important, and then that goes on to like a official history.
Which comes back to the
'Cause there's-
idea of. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, just like if you want to make sure that it's not contrived, then you need to make sure that you're not just recording things that are actually not important at all. So the only way that happens is if you have some perspective over time to look back.
So which comes back to Vest's idea of having each warband having a codex. If we were to do that, it wouldn't matter really if we put in mundane things in there. Like if we go through with this idea that Vest had, I would want every member, maybe not scouts, but every member to be able to post in it, and then we could sift through it for the interesting things to add to a more all-encompassing archive.
I agree with both of your points,
You could
like
have a,
for the most part,
you
but
can do that as well for work,
mhm.
and it is
I-
something important to do.
I think the primary concern though will be getting people to actually write stuff. So I don't really care if people are putting in completely like pointless and small things. Like I played a game of League of Legends today.
Yeah.
I think
I got a pentakill.
I obviously wouldn't want that to be in our final draft, but start somewhere. Write something down. I don't care what it is, just do it.
Rip Hoy Crash.
I don't
Yeah.
think like recording group play is completely like irrelevant though. Like, if we have like a good timeline of like who is active and who is playing with who and playing what, then that's still good information to me.
I think all events that go on the calendar should be recorded in the archives. Like I like looking in the archives and seeing the weekly Warframe nights and like who is in attendance and what happened.
By the way, one missed opportunity here, Ducky. We went fishing in Warframe. We had a bunch of people and we were talking. It was fun.
Mhm.
I should have recorded that.
Well,
It was a very interesting evening. It was completely spontaneous. I didn't record it. I should have. It's just one of those things. I think it was worth putting in there at some point, but it wasn't an organized event, so I didn't.
Yeah.
My thought at this point is that each warband can use their warband chat to like just talk about whatever, and then from that there can be like a Google Doc or something that each warband maintains, and maybe you guys are talking about something that is going to happen or is happening right now or happened already, something like Warframe Night or just some significant thing or something like that. And especially getting into what Drum made with the Outriders thing and stuff like that, because then you're going to have real events significant to your warband, specifically that you could record too, and talk about that in the chat, and then maybe the Berserkers and the Huskarls or whoever, I suppose, take what is important from it and write it in this Google Doc or something. And as far as what would go on it, my thought is that stuff that's covered in announcements and Obsidian Hall probably don't need it because that's already there. but stuff like I keep looking at the old Knight codexes, like the Ranger Codex, the White Knight Codex and stuff. Those are on the forums if you haven't seen them. Like in my mind, that's what it would be like, is that kind of thing, like stuff relevant culturally to the group, and that's significant to the group and the members.
All right. And so, I guess the last thing that I wanted to talk about was also my sit reps is creating more paths for members to take. Now, some of these can be like game testers. So let's say we have a certain person in the warband who goes out, finds free games, maybe even games you gotta pay for, and see what would be good for group play. What would be good to have an event on. I think that would be a pretty a good person or good title to give someone to, put in that conscious effort to find something that's going to be good for us to all kind of get together and play.
I mean, that's that. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, all right. I would say my only thought on that, I think it's a good idea, as like personally, I've like found a few games that I've introduced to the clan, and it's great, and we all have a good time on those games. But I think the consistency and like how many games we find are too few and far between to warrant a role, you know?
Well, I mean, if we're not finding enough, then isn't that a good reason to make a more conscious effort and give someone that task?
Well, yeah, but
Well, I
don't think people go out of their way to look for the games, you know?
Well,
I
besides
think that
that
would
specific task, I mean, I think creating different I don't know what you called it, Ran, but like different avenues for people to do in WA. That's like sort of what Solid's doing with the things right now, like
And Drum with the Outriders thing, I think is a perfect example. There's definitely nothing to say each warband can't create their own avenues outside of just Warrior, Raider, Berserker, Huskarl to progress and have a job to do or something to pursue or achieve like that. I think the possibilities are kind of endless as far as you can sort of make whatever you want in your warband as far as things for people to do. Or I mean, like you said, Rand, I mean, I agree having more avenues is cool because it could motivate people to stick around or be more active and stuff like that. So I think for sure, like if people want to do that in the warbands, like create jobs like that. Cool.
Yeah, my Outriders are optional, but it's something that goes alongside the ranks. That has nothing to do with the ranks, but the whole point was that you could show off that you're active with the symbols. So you're active, you're doing stuff, and then you could show it off, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're an officer or you have responsibilities. That was the whole point.
Right. I think we definitely want to create more things for people to kind of want to achieve or try to work for, just not pencil pushing.
Yeah. I mean,
I was gonna say, Rand, like for your idea for finding good games for group play, that'd be something that you could like assign to a Thane, and then he or she would recruit members of any rank and say, hey, if you ever find a game or stumble across something, let me know and I'll compile it. And then you could have a bunch of people who are not really like, it's not their only job, but it's something that they could do on the side, I guess. Like my idea for Thanes is they can pretty much ask anyone to help them with their task.
Do you want to compile like a list of games and like list them by genre or something? So when
No, I'm definitely not
games
saying we should
around,
do
we
that
could
right now.
just pick one, or
Maybe, but that's not something I care to do right now at this moment in time because I think there's actually a lot going on in my great company, at least.
So I have some minor input on like game selection. So it's actually really hard to get together with people because of how many games everyone plays actually. So I'm just going to throw that out there because everyone's playing like totally different games all the time. And to invest, like I had a couple guys I was playing with, I'm like, hey, you got this game? And they're like, no, I'm broke. You know what I mean? So it's like, just throwing that out there. Expanding the game list way too much is actually going to cause dissension. That's just my opinion. But like naturally because not everyone has a bunch of money to throw around. I get the free games thing. That's pretty cool. Definitely looking into free games that are fun to try out for like a fun night would be sick. But
Well, so we've got the game night, which has been off for a couple weeks from tournaments and such, but just everybody hopping on whatever free game together and trying it out together. But I think the idea with like assigning it as a task is like basically throwing seeds out there, like see what sticks, see what grows. So you try a bunch of things and hope one or two of them take off.
I know a crap ton of good free games and even cheap paid games that are great online. So I always have a bunch of ideas with that. But
Goth, can you please tell me who's broke the day that Steam the summer sale started? That's wrong.
yeah, who's not? You mean who's not broke after the summer sale?
No, I mean who's been broke before the summer sale? They should know by now.
Yeah, you should be saving up for that shit. That's exactly right. And maybe actually another thing that'd be cool for a lot of to get people involved. People who are more fortunate, pooling a little bit of money together in the clan, for people who might not be able to afford things, being able to buy copies of the games that, most people play or most people want to try.
I think we do that
a huge way to. You already do that?
Very informally. We've had people buy each other things.
Yeah, like there's been like 20 CK2 copies given away.
What's CK2?
Crusader
Kings 2.
Gotcha.
It's like a grand strategy game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely builds like camaraderie, and that's good for the people that can do it. For the people that can't, but organizing it anyway would risk being abused, but I can't guarantee it would be.
We would be recruiting the wrong people if they started hearing about free games, to be honest.
Yeah, potentially.
You wouldn't tell anyone that. You would just be able to do it for a nice individual.
But can we guarantee members aren't going to be telling people that, though?
I think we do that now. I think sometimes we just do that now.
I think it'd be very unwise for any sort of a leader or even smaller person who's trying to move up to. I mean, for instance, my last community, we would buy copies of the few games that we played to give them to people who didn't necessarily have a copy. Friends of, someone would recommend one of their friends that they knew that wanted to play the game but didn't have the money, and then that person would come to leadership and say, hey, do you guys mind helping my buddy out to get him into the community, get him into the game? We can get him set up on Discord/TeamSpeak. And that was really cool. Kind of just gets their foot in the door, and then that's a nice thing to do. Not only are they getting a free copy, but they're meeting a bunch of nice people. So I don't know. That's where I was coming from. Not for people who are already here, but if people are telling people about it, but they're not sure or something, I guess it's just kind of getting a buy-in. But I guess you need to trust the people who are offering that copy to get them into the community, into that one game, getting exposure. You would need to be able to trust who is making that decision. That would need to be a group decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so by making it policy, then you've got to be able to like justify why some people can say yes and some people can say no. And maybe this person's been around and like succeeded at bringing people in that way, so you kind of trust their idea. But this new guy might be insulted that you.
Yeah, it's not like a 14-year-old scout who's brand new to WA is like, hey guys, my friend doesn't have Fortnite skins yet, but he totally, can you just get him the package so that it's not like that. Like, it's like, oh, my buddy wants to try out this game because he saw me playing it while he was over.
Right. I think by keeping it informal, we maintain the ability to be selective with it.
Yeah.
I think keeping it informal is a better idea.
But I mean, we could definitely like make. I haven't bought anyone a game in probably a year or two. So I mean, if anyone wants to bring that up as something like, hey, I think this would help morale or something like that, then yeah, we can start throwing like RP at tournaments for League or game rewards for.
That'd be sick, dude.
Well, Battlefied does a lot of community prizing on that stuff.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't personally participated in it.
Yeah, I know for Battle Right community tournaments you can get in-game rewards for tournaments.
Yeah, Battle Right's one of the big games that Battlefied does it with.
Yeah.
Like we've had some decent RP prizes for tournaments, but yeah.
I'm also just throwing ideas out there. Like, obviously, I'm new and I don't have.
No, yeah, that's exactly what this is all about.
This is good Fireside.
I do think it's important to note there would be a difference between having reward money for tournaments and charity for members. Like, just for instance, I've donated a few things to newer members to Warframe because they're just getting into it, and I know the game is a grind, and sometimes it's not always fun at first. So, I help people along a little bit, and I've been offering a few things to newer members, but it doesn't by any means mean that if you do this for this long, you're gonna get something,
Yeah.
I just don't think we should create an expectation like, oh, if
No,
I'm in
that's
the community for a month, I'm gonna
yeah.
get
I think that's exactly the point we were trying to make with informal versus policy.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's not even something that should even really be talked about or expected. It's more like, hey, especially like Thanes, Huskarls, Berserkers, and Raiders, like people who have been here a long time, they have a friend that they want to. It's bringing the community together to get someone involved rather than not just being your bro and like helping them out. It's like letting them know that the community cares.
Yeah.
And then you're getting a big buy-in for what WA stands for and not necessarily what your bro wants you to play with him. Because sometimes you can invite someone to a community, but they're there for you. So when you're not there, they're not buying into the community, they just leave. A lot of people come in, they scroll through the channels, they don't see their friend, and they leave. It would be cool to like have, because I see it a lot even since I've been here for like a month. I'll be in a channel, a few people are playing, someone not a name that I see on here a lot will come in real quick, be like, hey, and like get upset that we're gaming. And they're not just like chill with us enough to just sit there for a few minutes and wait for a downtime to be like, how you doing?
I mean, there's even people that have been around for a while that feel like that. Like it's not a new person specific thing.
So squashing that would be really cool. You know what I mean? Just getting kind of everyone. And I'm not saying that the buying of the games is going to do that. I kind of like segued, but it'd be cool for people to get to know each other more. And
For the record,
Cure thing was.
For the record, Goth, there's a member that does that a lot. It's nothing against anybody. He just hops in. What are you doing?
I don't even have a name in mind. I hear like,
I'm not gonna name. I'm just gonna say he comes in. He says, "What are you doing?" If it's not interesting to him or he can't join, he just leaves. He doesn't even say bye. Just leaves.
Sorry.
So don't.
Look, I lead
worry
a
about
really
it.
busy life, Drum. Okay, sometimes I just only have time to stop.
Not the
Yeah.
hiking.
If Vess doesn't have pizza, he's not very sociable.
Yeah, you have to bribe me.
I saw him playing League of Legends earlier, only a few minutes after someone pinged LoL players, and he did not play with them.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
I was playing a bot game for my first win of the day. I didn't think most people want to join in on that.
Not my hiking.
How low have we sank?
I mean, I've been doing that for months.
I'm not
I
calling
started a
anybody
movement.
out, Goth. I'm just pointing out that it does happen. Don't worry about it. It's just kind of like a normal thing, especially for the member I have in mind. But I get where you're coming from for your point.
I think that may just be a consequence of just the fact that we're a gaming community. Sometimes people will be gaming together and somebody else joins and they don't have the game or something. I think as long as it's not people being rude, like somebody being like, hey, can I play? And they'd be like, no, get out of here. Like, if it's that, I think
yeah,
it'd be
I'm not used to the vastness of the amount of games that you guys play. Like everyone is always doing something so separate. So it'd be cool to have more together.
Yeah, we've got
Sounds really corny, but more together moments. Like the night we were all playing like league matches together, and people were, I don't know what was going on that night, but everyone was like challenging each other, and there was a bunch of league matches going on, and there was like a little tournament, and there was some points going on, and everyone was kind of hanging out together. That was really cool. I don't know how often that happens or what that was about, but that was pretty sweet.
You know what?
Mission
Come to think
success.
of that, I actually have a game where literally everybody can play together in the same match on the same map.
Fortnite?
No.
Minecraft.
Mag.
Like
Is it-
everyone's in the same squad.
Is it Raft?
We can all play together. No, it's not Raft. It's not Raft. It's actually a game that's on sale right now for $6. It's 60% off. and we can
Is this
actually.
an advertisement?
Uh-oh.
It
Pulling
really
off the
sounds
title
like
is
it. It
what makes
totally
this-
sounds like
kind
it.
of a plug for my game. No, I'm just kidding.
Before I tell you the 10 secrets to success, listen to this.
No,
20
this
minutes
game,
later, and just then I will tell you the 10 secrets for success.
I really want to know what this game is.
But I linked it
Yeah.
in Meatball, and it's a top-down tactical game. Tactical
I'm out.
shooter.
Foxhole.
All right, I quit.
No.
I'm just saying. I don't know if it's for everybody.
Where'd you
but
link it?
We can all
In
play
Meat
this
Hall?
game together.
Ducky, I
It is-
love that game.
I like this game too, but I play it alone, so it gets.
Dude,
boring.
we're gonna have to play at some point. Screw these guys. Let's go.
All right, let's go right now. But yeah, this game we can all play together in a server and just play
The-
through
the-
whole game together as like 20 people.
Co-op or versus doesn't matter. We can play it co-op versus
as well,
bots is great.
but it's really cool. So
Yeah, this is
And it's a
this is
game.
basically a Foxhole reskinned.
a little bit, I guess.
Foxhole came after though. I think.
Oh, did it?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know how far
I don't
back
know what
Foxhole
Foxhole
goes, but
Well,
Foxhole is decent. It's actually fun. It's just not. This Foxhole is more quote unquote realistic. Running with rifles is arcade.
Yeah.
So running with rifles, I just bought a 4-pack. So if anyone wants one, let me know before they run out.
Oh, here we go.
I love this.
We need to get this going.
Hook your
It's
brother
only
up.
20 bucks for a 4-pack. You know what I'm saying?
Hook your
Ooh.
brother up. All
I know what
right.
you're saying. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, that's a game that we can all play together. More than just 4 or 5 people at once. Literally, like all of us could play.
That's cool.
Anyway, we were talking about something else.
Do you guys have player lists like for, game name here and then, Steam name and then league name? Like, do you guys have like a document that has everyone's multiple names?
I think that's part of the rosters that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Well, the rosters don't have people's like in-game names necessarily.
That'd be helpful for like primary games, like having like Gothmather Lightling / League of Legends / Gothmather / just to
Well,
have
I
it.
mean,
Your in-game name
usually
the same as your
connections like that
WA
happen
name.
on a player-to-player basis.
You guys
It's-
think that's a good?
It's kind of a personal connection, like one way that people can get together is they exchange names and play a game.
Okay. All right. I was just saying that
Yeah,
helped
I-
in
like
previous
the
communities,
idea.
just having the name rather than,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, let's add this guy on. Yeah, that's true though, because like I'm not just gonna add someone I don't know and be like, "Hi, want to play?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in
Hey.
that voice.
Which is
Yeah.
another
Hey,
thing about that
Joe.
is that is a reason why people have the like LOL players tag, for instance. Like you can just drop an at LOL players in Meat Hall and then someone can respond and then you made a friend in WA.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like instead of having everyone have all their different IGNs, they just have a tag for each game. Like I have like 4 or 5 tags, and then someone can add me with that. And then,
Mine are different for everything. I think I might just generalize it and change everything to the same one.
I have way
Yeah.
too many fucking tags.
Stupid.
Anyway,
Those are weak numbers.
So like, you don't even play that many games.
when is the RWR night? When's it happening?
The
Organize
R-
it.
Running with
Let's go.
rifles.
Right
Ducky,
I
tell
was
Vest.
having trouble
Tell
with that.
Vest to post it on the calendar. You can organize it.
Tuesday, 26th. Who's in?
Does that
Me.
does that count retroactively for his Outrider achievement?
The
think
no,
it
the
would.
Master Outrider requirement is not retroactive like recruitment.
Okay, everything else is though.
Ulf, do you own this game? The running with rifles?
No, I can buy it if I want though.
I just bought a 4-pack. I'll give you one for being my bro. I got 2 extra ones.
Don't worry about it.
Bro.
Help
Why-
someone else out.
Why were you
Alright,
in
no.
Pilk's Breakers so much?
Testing
go.
purposes.
Oh, okay.
Here's some bowl scraping. Who's got the ice cream?
I think it's Ulf.
You get a game. You get a game.
Everybody gets a game. If you're in this
Wow.
channel between the times of 9, 10, and 9:15 p.m. Eastern, you get a free game called Running with Rifles.
Speaking of, I think Vest wants to close this up.
Yeah, I think we're kind of winding down here. We got a good hour, 13 minutes of discussion. It's pretty good. Did anyone have any other topics or questions or anything you want to throw out before we turn off the stream?
Could I just ask you a question on right now, Vest?
Yeah.
Do you think we can implement my Outriders idea?
Absolutely,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would go about officially doing that.
I'm trying to think if it would be better to do it before or after the warband competition. I guess is my only thought. What do you think?
I could do it. I don't mind waiting until after.
Maybe after. I don't know. Just to give the other warbands maybe a little bit more time if they want to try to create some stuff. I suppose, or maybe they won't. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I could see doing it before or after, but maybe we can try implementing after. And I was kind of thinking the same thing about like some of these like the warband like monthly tournament kind of thing too. Like also looking at that after the warband competition. Most likely.
How about we just revisit it after the warband competition?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind revisiting both my ideas after.
Write that down.
That seems fair, yeah.
Make a note.
Dude, I think about this constantly every day. I don't need to make a note.
Is it in your dreams?
I
Famous last words of someone who forgot what he was thinking.
You're right. You're right.
Exactly.
I don't
I'll
dream.
never forget this.
I don't dream of WA yet.
You dream about dreaming about WA.
Yeah.
That's dreams.
Yeah, this is getting out of control.
Okay, close it up, Best.
All right. With that said, thank you guys all for showing up. Thank you to anybody watching the stream. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks.
Oh, hold on. Eldfinner just jumped in and asked if we can start an StarCraft Blood War Diplo War with
Wait,
Clan
Eldfinner?
USSR. Yeah, he is on Twitch.
What?
Uh-oh.
Possibly.
We played with Eldfinner yesterday. He's around.
Yeah, he's the root on Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next Thursday, same time.